7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
Hello, and welcome to Depraved Indifference to Intelligent Life, my weekly little vlog thing that I do here. And today I would like to talk about something else that somebody else has talked about. Specifically, Matt Lees, one of the boys over at the Shut Up and Sit Down and Cool Ghosts websites, did a talk in Germany about cultural complicity. I'm going to include a link in the description below to that YouTube video. You should check it out. It is well worth your time. It is a wonderful little talk that he gives. And I'll include another link below to another video that he did a little while ago on the Cool Ghost website about, I think it was on the Cool Ghost. It might have been on his own website, which I think morphed into the Cool Ghosts YouTube channel, I should say. But it's on keeping politics out of video games. And both of them are kind of along the same lines. Both talks do amazing things. The keeping politics in the video games kind of touches on the cultural complicity video a little bit, but it was a couple years ago that one was done. This one was done up a lot more recently. Now, that being said, his talk on cultural complicity basically lays out the fact that as people make games, not just video games, but board games, any type of game, as people are in that industry making these games, they are acting a lot like they're making games in a vacuum. That they're just making a game and it's not saying anything other than what they think it should. And that's not entirely true. And he has a lot of good points that the mechanics of a game, both implicit and explicit, says a lot about the game itself and might be putting forth a message that the creators of the game didn't intend. As I was watching the video, I could easily draw a parallel to the fact that if you have a game, for example, where you have a mechanic that lets you go out and just wantonly kill a whole bunch of people and have, or a whole bunch of enemies, as you say, they might be people, but we'll say enemies, and that there is no fear of reprisal, that you can just do this and nothing is going to stop you. There's going to be no consequences for these actions. That carries a message implicit in that mechanic. GTA 5 actually has a system in place. I do know that the GTA games as a whole, where if you're committing crimes, you'll get these little stars that will pop up, and after more stars pop up, the cops start looking for you more and more vigorously, trying to bring you down because you are a threat to society in that regard. And that's a nice mechanic. That's a consequence mechanic to what you're doing. In Skyrim, if you kill someone in a town, the guards in that town will make it harder for you to actually do anything in that town, because they'll either attack you on sight or try to arrest you. And yeah, there's these mechanics that are in here which which you have to be aware of. You have to think on. And when you're building a game, you need to think on these things as well, because you can't just build it and assume that it's going to be in a vacuum, that nothing is going to, that people aren't going to take away things from it that you didn't intend. As one of my old teachers used to say back in school about the written word is that whenever anything is put down on paper, it is then open to interpretation. The same is true for board games, for video games, for any type of game, any type of media out there. Once it's done, it's open to interpretation, and it may not be the interpretation that you intended. So when you're in the process of creation for this media, you need to be aware of these things. Mr. Lee's talk did quite a lot of nice things in terms of offering up definite ideas and ways to get your mind wrapped around that, as well as pointing out a lot of things that I hadn't really considered. One of which is being that um, video games are places where disenfranchised people live. That was one of his quotes that he had up here on his talk, and I thought about it, and another one that was that video games are medication for the soul to go along with the disenfranchised. And it's true. Uh, I have often used video games myself to make myself feel better, to just, while away some time playing video games, watching movies or television series, or reading a good book. I am definitely someone that uh, is and does escape from reality uh, in my own little worlds because sometimes reality is a bit too much to take. So yeah, you can definitely see his point in that. At least I can, where video games can be a place where disenfranchised people live, and if somebody's going to be there living in a video game, uh, that video game is going to have an effect on them. It's going to do something to them. And if it is a game that isn't careful or hasn't thought about this sort of thing in the building of it, if it's not got positive messages in it, those messages can bleed off into people. And I'm not remotely qualified to talk on this particular topic in any great detail, but I thought that his video, both this one and the Keeping Politics Out of Video Games, which he says no, you can't, in his video, both of those videos I really liked. I liked the points that he was bringing up. I liked his arguments and the way he framed them. He tends to do a little bit of humor in with his videos because that's kind of what he does. It's all about making the jokes and making the point along with the jokes. It's nice. Both of these videos are ones that I think you should check out. You might like them, you might not. If you don't agree with what he's saying, don't knee jerk and write some horrible negative comments on it. Think about why you don't like what he's saying in his videos. First, think about it, and then thoughtfully write a reply. I'm not trying to get people that are going to disagree with him piling on to the guy because he's got his own life to live. He wrote this particular article or he did this particular talk for a reason because it's something he believes in, and I think he's got a point to believe in it, personally. So that's going to be it for this episode of my little vlog. Thank you all so much for watching. As always, if you like what I'm doing, please give that like button a tap. Give that subscribe button a tap as well if you haven't already, so you can be kept apprised of when I do new videos. And throw a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you think of his videos if you check them out. I definitely like to get a discussion going about this on this topic. A civil discussion, of course. But do all that. And until next time, my friends, you all take care. And I'll see you around.